Today we're going to be teaching you guys how to recreate common practical lighting effects using studio lights.
What's great about this episode is we pulled off every single effect with mini 20s. So the first effect was a television screen, which could also be like a movie projector screen if you're doing something in a cinema or making like even a classroom or something look like a movie theater. So we just pinged in a mini 20 into a pizza box, which is a 2x2, 2 foot by 2 foot bounce board as a key. So the mini 20 was off next to the actors, and our bounce board was directly in front of them, bouncing back a soft key light. And with the onboard dimmer, we were able to change the frequency and make it look like that television screen had some action on it.
I've seen a lot of people use two different lights actually, and then shine them directly at actors and try to change the frequencies to make them look like that.
Go between the two.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
The movie theater screen or the television screen is just a single source, so I feel like I've seen people do that, and we always end up simplifying it to a single source. It's just easier to handle. It's one color temperature, and you're not mixing things, and it's just a little more elegant as a key light.
So now, building on that effect, if you wanted to do a projector instead of a TV, how would you change this?
For the projector, we added another mini 20 behind the actors. So basically, as a backlight, we built upon the television screen. So we had the TV screen that had a change in frequency, and then we had the projector that had to match the frequency. So for this effect, we had to have the person on the television light and the projector light communicating so that the frequencies could be the same. One thing you could do if you weren't using lights with onboard dimmers is you could tether them together and have them on the same dimmer. So you would just have one control if you don't have hands, so that that frequency matches. So that you buy the fact that the projector is actually projecting the same image.
The next effect that we're going to show you how to do is how to recreate city lights in the back of an atmosphere.
And there's many ways to kind of do this, but we took a string of Christmas lights. Don't get anything that's like an LED string or a string that can change like modes or whatever, like blinky modes, because you may find weird lines, you might find flickering, especially if you're pointing at the source. The key was to get the Christmas lights as far back from the window and the actors and the camera as possible. So we put them out. We also dimmed them down on just a 1K hand dimmer to make it seem like they were further away.
Nice.
So they were a little dimmer.
So why is the distance so important for those lights?
Well, distance is because depending on what lens you're on to, you're going to be able to control and decide what kind of softness you want. Mm-hmm. The closer they are, the more they're in focus. So if you have distance to play with, always put them as far back as you can so that you can really dial in like how soft you want them.
So now what if we wanted to have police sirens in the scene?
One thing you could do is you could put two mirrors up and put the mirrors on a C-stand or something and spin them and then hit red and a deep blue into them so you could create this reflection. But what we did is we took two mini 20s, one with red and one with a deep blue, and we mounted them to a C-clamp and a Cardellini clamp. We put them on batteries so that we weren't tethered to anything, because if you're tethered to something, your wires are going to eventually get really tangled and your spinning will stop. So we were able to put them on mobile power, and we spun them on a stand, and that way the direction and the speed and everything was able to be really uniform.
I've seen a lot of people take two lights and they try to go like this and pan them and try to recreate those lights. Why does that not work?
Well, it can work, but I think having some kind of support underneath them allows you to keep it the same, because the police car or whatever is probably not moving. It's probably just landed in the scene. So having a stand helps you just keep that rotation and the direction and where that light is hitting all uniform and continuous.
Yeah, if you think about it, a police siren is all coming from one source and the angles are the same. So if your lights look like they're swinging, they don't look really.